Welcome to West Virginia Commonplace. Today I have a special honor of having my mother on the show. Co-host with me is Stacy, as always.
Hello.
And we have my mother, Rosalind Sparrow.
Hello.
Now, doing these episodes, I've had countless guests on. I do all kinds of interviews. I interview who's who of medium tier people inside medium tier podcasts. But I have not elected to have a family member on the show. Not for any reason announced to me, but the point that I just travel a lot, so I never have time. So we'll pass along over to my colleague, my girlfriend, and my co-host, Stacy. I did say colleague because when you're doing professional talk to your colleague in conversation. And I'm going to let you address the first question to my mother. I will say this day first. Real quick, Mom, please give them a brief history on where you're from and how I got to be here.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
JR originated after I got married to his dad back in 79. JR came on the scene about 1985, I believe. He's turned out to be a very smart individual, and I'm proud of him.
Now, the next question, I'll go a little bit more elaborate with. I wanted the story of where you're from, because a lot of people don't know that you're from Columbus, Ohio. That you're from Columbus, Ohio, and how you met my father.
I was born in Columbus, Ohio. I met my husband at Murder Furtive. He was a
cylinder engraver.
Right.
So you worked at the same cylinder company that my dad worked at. Now this place is infamous for y'all made Hustler magazine and all kinds of different books.
What is it? Farming? No, journal. Some.
Right, but y'all did make the Hustler magazine too, Larry Flint.
Yeah.
And controversy behind that is that Larry Flint and Jerry Falwell went against each other in the 80s. And, this is what you call true contradiction. Our populace of Lynchburg, Virginia, was making a magazine and shipping it around the world when the second or third biggest preacher at this time, because he was under Billy Graham and some other guy. I forgot that other guy, but he was the number 3 televangelist in the world at one point with the old time gospel hour. That's kind of ironic that, y'all got tied into all that stuff. But anyway, so you meet my dad. What year was this you met him?
I don't remember, but we got married in 1979. We dated for about a year and a half, and it was love.
And my dad had a fixation on vehicles, and I had a chance myself. I owned a Firebird. He liked black Camaros. He had a Camaro, correct?
Correct.
1979 or 80 model, correct?
Whatever.
And it was pretty souped up. Him and a man named Tommy Tucker. They were instrumental in building up a lot of the Mean Street racers, the drag strip area, New London. They did build up a lot of vehicles. Yes, they did. They met Ken Schrader, a bunch of people at CarQuest. Everything in life was Mopar. Nobody had a Ford or anything. Now, getting deeper into this story now so that we can go further.
Now, my question is, where did you meet him? Was it up there or down here? Like, those of us that don't know that company, like, where is that located at?
Lynchburg, Virginia.
Lynchburg, okay.
Yeah, which is now currently RR Donald. That's the firm name.
So how'd you get down here? Did you have family down here?
Due to marriage and divorce, I ended up in Lynchburg.
Okay.
My grandmother was Elizabeth Taylor by her
Yeah.
Okay. And then he was originally from here, correct? Like this area?
My husband?
Yes.
He was from Piney Grove, which is Nelson County, the same place that the Walton
Okay. But it is Virginia. Okay.
Yeah, Virginia. Okay. And then the other side of the family is from Princeton. Her other side is from Princeton, West
Right.
Okay.
That's our West Virginia tie. So anyway, I'm born. You have me. You have my sister down with. What was it like raising us?
It was like raising twins. I thoroughly enjoyed it. My husband's sister, her name is Agatha. She gave me plenty breaks so that I wouldn't go berserk. But everything worked out to the good. The saddest thing I had to do, it was March 23rd, 1994. I was working in Liberty in the cafeteria, and Well, before that, one of my sister-in-laws, I told her we were riding around one day, and I showed her where I would, if something would come up, where to find me. I don't know, at that time, I just did it. I didn't know that she really would have to use it.
Go ahead. What happened on March 23rd?
Well, Wilbur left about, well, I'm not sure what time he left, about 11, I think. In his jacket, I found a receipt where he had been at Advance Auto Parts. Well, it's something else now. And he was going to pick up a part for a car. And he went down to Nelson to work on the car. Instead of using jacks, he decided to use cement blocks. And while he was adjusting something, I'm not car inclined, so I can't tell you what it was. He shook it, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Finish that up. Car fell on my father. He killed him instantly. He didn't have any pain or anything. And the whole story on that is, just to sum this up real fast, was on cinder blocks and it was on jacks. It wasn't just cinder blocks. So you're not going to just put a car on cinder. Something happened with that jack, and that's what threw it off. The cinder block was supposed to be was the extra set of support. If you set a cinder block like this,
Right.
so if something comes, it was just too much money. You know, they're mechanics and they do all this stuff, you know, and things like that happen. So after that, you're left to take care of us. And the thing is that I give you credit for, but I give my credit back to my dad. I'm starting to realize, and I felt people that I turned into him a little bit. My dad was a Superman to a degree. He
was smart.
Multifaceted stuff.
Yeah.
And with him being multifaceted, there were certain things that he took on that you now always have to worry about. So he dies. Now you're responsible for everything. How did that weight of the world fall on you? How did you handle that?
To be perfectly honest with the viewers, I was not very good with managing. I had help. I made a lot of mistakes that I regret, but Wilbur was a good provider. He always made sure Valen and JR got a toy on Friday, and they went to McDonald's or somewhere.
Little Caesars. You know, one thing I want to touch on is we'll go back in history. There was this MC Hammer doll that I wore, and y'all had money for the electric bill, but he told me that if I got that toy, because it was MC Hammer, and I don't know why I wanted a doll, but it was MC Hammer, he had a little boombox, but you can't touch this one. He went and took me to get that because I was greedy. I said, I want to go get it. So he took me to get it. And I don't know if it was a big box of Toys R Us. Toys R Us was down the road from me. And either way, when we got home, he went out there and turned the power off. I don't know if you remember that. He turned the power off and made me think that the power was...
You're missing some of the story.
Well,
Like you told me this the other day, he gave you his options.
he gave me his options of either get the toy or the power's going to get cut off.
If you get the toy.
If I get the toy, the power's going to get cut off. So I went and got the toy, went back home, and while we were all in there, he went outside to turn the power off. And this did happen. Remember, the MC Hammer doll, Valen will vouch for me on this. We'll have to get her in the near future one for this. And he kept that power on through that night. I all slept with, did whatever. You raised a little hell about your coffee or something. But outside of that, he taught me a lesson. Well, he taught me somewhat of a lesson I had to learn. From that point on in life, I always went about, I saved up enough money so I could buy what I want when I want it. I didn't necessarily just always jump out and buy stuff after that point. That's one lesson I learned from my dad. I don't know if you remember that or not. It did happen. And it's always stuck with me. That's one good memory that stuck with me. So going forward, you're raising me and my sister. And I'm a video game collector. I was a video game collector back then. And I want to tell you this because I forgot about this. We used to have this store called Roses. In Roses, there was the system called a Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
Sega Saturn back then was $499, $500 back then. With the inflation price, it'd be more than what a PlayStation is now. So you wouldn't let me bought me 2 games from there, and then another store that was in that plaza because Roses was down there. So I got Sega Rally, Daytona USA. We had to go somewhere to get Virtual Fighter 2. So you get me this stuff, and I go home, and I had a bunch of friends. I had Bo Weaver, Mike Weaver, everybody come over and play the game and stuff. And Mike and them's mom, Gloria, you remember her?
Yeah.
She went and bought them the same thing the same day. But they were at our house playing, and I was the hottest kid on the block. I always want to tell you thank you for that because I always had the latest games. So that's one thing I'm thank you for. And another quick story inside that is we went to Columbus for something, and I'll never forget it. I had Nintendo 64, and this game was called WCW NWO World Tour. It came out in Columbus, or it came out in Virginia. When I got home with that game, I had that game at least a month and a half before it came to Virginia, because back then you had Electronic Boutiques and you had Babbage's. We had two different game stores that are now GameStop. They both merged together. EB Games had exclusive rights with Nintendo, Babbage did. So I had that game a whole week, and we had 4 controllers. You're talking about everybody went over to play it. We had the sleepovers and all that other stuff. So I want to credit you for that one thing there, always making sure I was technologically advanced over other people. Man, I had the hottest games. You remember I had that with all 4 controllers? The WCW. We used to play it on the TV that was inside the cabinet.
I mean, it's probably because she didn't focus a lot on games is why she doesn't remember. But I mean, that's your heart and soul is video games, because from some stories that you've told me, that was the connection you had with your dad, was video games.
I ain't do nothing with cars.
Right.
So you're raising us, we get older, and then there comes a point in life. Me and my sister split. I do athletic stuff. She's into marching.
Right.
Now, can we just for everybody else, what's the difference between you and your sister who's older?
My sister Valen is older than me. I was born in 1985. She was born in 1983.
Okay,
but,
so 2 years difference?
Yeah. She was born in October. So the problem is that when you look at high school, it looks crazy. I got held back a grade. So when we went to high school, I was in 9th grade. She was a senior. The age difference doesn't match up to it. It makes it look like I was kind of, you know what I'm saying? It kind of made it like, oh.
You got right. Can we talk about that there, though, real fast? Because I remember that story. I think everybody should know why you got held back a grade.
I got held back a grade because I refused to tie my shoes. When I was in kindergarten, I refused to tie the shoe on the little wooden thing. Y'all put me in transitional 1st grade.
Now, is that the true story, or was there something else behind it? Or do you remember? You don't remember?
I don't remember.
So we have to go with this story.
Yes.
They held me back, and I resented that because I've always been very studious and intelligent. I read books when people didn't notice. I did never do anything. I never worked hard in front of anybody. If I was going to work hard, I did behind the scenes.
So if your Anna Gaithas out there listening, because I think that's 2 listens, right?
Yeah.
So if you know a different story of why he was held back, give us a call and let us know so we can correct that statement there.
I should remember, but I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was wooden shoe. And it had a neon green shoelace on it, and I wouldn't tie it. Even to this day, I don't tie my shoes. I straight lace my shoes, and I will weave them together. And after I do all that, I still won't tie. Shoes I got now on these Reeboks, they were tied by Reebok, and I had to tie them.
I remember telling you to time this morning and looked at me.
Took them shoes off and put on another pair of shoes.
Mercy.
Now, you go on, we're in high school, and there's a little bit of a divide because my sister, I'm a social butterfly. Everybody attracts to me. Sister only had that ability with the books, but she only attracted people that were in her group. I ain't gonna say that people were weird because we don't classify people or anything like that. She hung out with a different set of people.
Right.
And I was more sociable. You allowed it when I was in middle school. Girl I was dating, she could come over to the Valen had a little band party, or if I wanted to go to Skate Land or it was called Fun Quest, you would take us and drop us off. I will honestly say this about my mom. When I was 13 or 14 years old, my mom let me stay at the all-night skate, the all-night move, to drop me off. She'd give me like $40 to $60 and say, don't spend all in one place. That was life. True?
True.
Gave her back $1?
No, I didn't get back my money. I call her sometimes. I need some extra. Because funny story, we had this red Caravan. Well, the Dodge Caravan, and we had the one sliding door on the side. And everybody, like I had groups of friends that come over sometimes. We would just go to the skate and bring you different things like that. And some of them kids didn't have, I'm not going to say I had everything the best, but if I really wanted to try it. Some of them kids didn't always have the best clothes. We had down there, it wasn't running anywhere else. There was something down there. One boy that was hanging with us, his clothes didn't meet. She went in and spent $25, got him. We wore Nike golf hats, like the ones that pin up in the back and all that stuff. Oh boy, a t-shirt and a hat so that he could not feel excluded. And that's something that she always tried to do with people. And that's something I've always liked about you. Not taken from you. That's one talent or one attribute of taking. You always try to make everybody feel accepted. You never try to let people.
I never tried to act like I was better than anybody else.
Right. So with that, I took that along and I made sure I always included everybody. There was always inclusion, no exclusion to anybody. I didn't care who they were. And that's one thing I do want to thank you for. Right. I wouldn't be the person I am today for that.
Ooh.
Well, one thing I want to ask you real quick. I know she's trying to get off. We're not doing this for video, then, so nobody will see this. I'll take a picture later. So I want some personal stuff about you so people know about you. This movie has bothered me all my life because it's probably one of the worst movies in my life. Love it. Got it over on the projector or whatever I mean. 5 Heartbeats.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you about this. What was it about 5 Heartbeats? Because Robert Townsend made better movies. Meteor Man was better than 5 Heartbeats, in my opinion. What made you love the 5 Heartbeats?
Because it had a lot of Motown in it. I still am into Motown even now. YouTube has a section that you push on your cell phone, and some of the old music is in that program.
Now, the thing about it is growing up, you played a lot of music. I'll tell you something that has haunted me all my life. I am Hall & Oates.
I am too.
I play Hall & Oates. She will tell you. These jobs I go on everywhere. When that Hall & Oates come on, you'll hear me hit a little snap. I'll say, that's my jam right there. I'll do your little dance, your little snap. And I always remember you no matter where I am. So if something ever happens to you, I'm always going to have Hall & Oates with you. And your Hall & Oates wasn't nothing like Sarah Smile or anything like that. It was more of the Hall & Oates. You won't know Sarah Smile, no?
It was Sarah Smile. And they had quite a few hits. Man Eater, and I can't remember the rest. But Hall & Oates was the thing, one of the main ones that I listened to.
And then it was them. Then David Russell Motown. But I'm gonna tell you this: growing up, I learned how to clean from you, but you and my sister were not the best clean. But on Saturday, not in a mean way.
No, I just want to make sure, like, when you say clean, you don't mean the dishes, correct?
Oh no, nobody in my family can wash dishes.
Okay.
Can we wash dishes?
No.
It's a deficiency. I mean, we're great at everything else. We can't wash dishes. It's always greasy for some reason. You can't teach me. You even use hot water. We try to get this stuff out. We even use Dawn and other stuff.
I don't know what it is, but you cannot wash a dish to save your life. Frustrates me so bad.
And it's a deficiency. I won't get treated for it. I won't get help for it or anything like that. But I just can't wash dishes. Can you?
No.
I mean, at least you do the laundry.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I dry it and fold it or hang it up. It gets all through the processes up.
If it's yours.
Well, if it's yours, still,
You don't fold and hang my laundry up.
I'll put it in the room so you can get it because you don't live the same way I do. Anyway. So, to finish this music though, we're cleaning up. It was this band. What was the name of it? SOS. The SOS band you would throw on. And we head downstairs. It was a stereo. I forgot what it was. It had those glass top that everything you pressed on it would come up like that, I believe.
Right.
The one door would open like this. We had equalizer and all kinds of shit. I used to fuck with them. I won't be into it. And you had 45s. And then what's the bigger album called?
33 and a half.
That was the bigger one?
Yeah.
All right, the 45 you had to put a little adapter on.
Right.
Right. So you put on it and what was the song? SOS.
Take your time, do it right.
Yeah, one Weekend Girl leaves it. Weekend Girl is my favorite song. People always talking about. How's the rest of the song?
I cannot help you.
I don't care what the other ones think. Just be straight with me or something like that.
Be good to me.
It's something, whatever. But the point is, you used to play that. You would do this little, little shuffle. You know your little dance you do.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Angela and Renee. That's I'll be good to you.
That's SOS thing.
No, don't play with me out here. It's Angela and Renee.
We don't have to argue. Anyway, so Saturday we do a little clean. You didn't wake up early. I got my sleeping jeans from somebody else. You can sleep all day. SOS band, these are the songs. Take your time. Just be good to me.
Oh,
1983.
just be good to
Yeah,
me.
just be good to me. 1983. Oh, tell me if you still care. So we love that stuff. But anyway, so growing up, you slept till 12 o'clock on Saturday.
True.
Sure. So, we just get up, we eat cereal, do whatever we want. We had all the food we wanted. I learned how to use a deep fryer probably at the age of 9. Pop that stuff over in there and cook whatever I want. Cook pizza rolls. So that's how vicious I was. Who cooks pizza rolls in grease?
Nobody.
Nobody. They get crispy. Cook fish in the same grease too, because I didn't know better. We'll get a little bit up here in age, or get older. We won't talk about the circumstances of anybody else but me. I grew up, I made some rough decisions from them. You stood by me behind some of the rough decisions and some of the big decisions. So I got up here in my 30s. I think we have to go back and just dissect me. What do you say my best years have been in my 30s?
27 through 30.
27 through 30? That's when I got sharp down to the first man.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll say I blew too late. I honestly won't say that to anybody. 27, 30, I got things straight. I made mistakes. Got a little better than had some miscues here and there.
Okay, so I have some hard questions. What is your favorite thing that you remember that you want to let JR know about his dad?
I want you to know that your daddy loved you and he got a lot of you and Valen too as well. But being that you were born one day before his birthday, it was like living the life of Cinderella because I had Valen in October. The 13th of October, we got married, and then my birthday was the 20th. So October and July was just like Christmas all the way through.
Okay. So it was a pretty good birthday present for him.
Yes.
The day before his birthday. Okay. So then my next part is, what is one thing about you want to always have remembered?
That I did the best I could do. I made a lot of mistakes and I went through quite a few things, but I'm still here and I'm not dead yet.
Okay. So we're going to go try to make it do some funny things. Tell me one embarrassing story you remember about JR.
I can't say it.
Go ahead, I don't care.
No, I can't say it. You used to shit in your underwear.
Until how old?
Yeah, because when I was little, sometimes I was real small. I won't say up it's 7 times I made them draws would have some shit. I didn't know my bowel movement heavy like that. It happened. It won't know just no streak in there. It was like shit in I would hide them things and put them in bags and throw them away. And,
you would throw up under the bed.
Everybody, hopefully no one in my family is listening to this. If you know me, you don't know me. I think that's why JR feels so bad for my nose. Because he does have some accidents. Whenever we cleaned out they call it the tour room up at my mom and dad's house, it's the toy room. We cleaned that out. We found some bags.
Yeah, it brought back some memories. Homeboy had compacted the shit in drawers and put them in the corner. And he hit them good.
He put them in the animal bucket.
Yeah, he put them in the bucket and stuff so you wouldn't have never smelled them.
Right.
You won't quite like that.
It won't that bad. It happened. I'll tell you this. When I was in Phoenix in first grade, I had a bunch of something. It was the first time I'd ever had a diarrhea. That shit so hard. She had to come pick me up from school. This shit came down on my pants leg. I was just I've always kept good composure with things. So I was my face had expression, so I wasn't that mad. So the car ride home
probably got really bad.
They got really bad. So the car ride home, and I like her for this. I had to sit on my knees, I had to turn toward the seat.
They didn't clean you up in school?
No, they did not clean me up. We had to go home, and I had to get cleaned up.
That's just wrong.
Yeah.
Well, they ain't never nothing to clean them up with.
I put him in the sink and let him try to scoop
No,
it
that
up
shit was
with
down there on the
some
sock
water.
and everything. That shit was coming out to the bottom of the back there. I think I had the Jordan suit on or something back then.
Well, at least hand it to the teachers today. If something like that happens in school, I know a lot of teachers that would try to help clean you up before they put you in a vehicle.
Yeah, but they put me in the vehicle, but I sat on my knees and the ride home was 15 minutes.
Modelum.
On that
Right,
long.
but still, your mama had to smell that.
Yeah, no, she just turned the shower on.
And if she had to smell
She
that,
turned the shower on for me to go take a shower. I freaking kept the clothes on and took them shits off in the shower. I had to make sure it was cleaned off.
You got any other stories?
No, ma'am.
Not that you remember? Okay.
I think that's the best thing you're gonna get out of me.
So what about you? Like, can you tell me a couple of things? What is the major thing you remember about your
All
dad?
right, so the main thing I remember about my mom, I was young. She had a Subaru station wagon,
Right.
and she was working at the time. I think you were working at cable or something. You were working somewhere.
Doing the math tonight.
Yeah, one of Madison Heights. You know where Madison Heights is. So from there to where I was from, I've always lived on a mountain. It's been a lifetime that I have not lived on a mountain. So we lived on Candler Mountain. And she comes up the mountain. She has a really freak accident. Her car ran off the road and went wherever. The story was when I was young was that a deer came out in broad daylight and she ran off the road. Well, as years went on, me and my friends, we investigated. We were looking at stuff because we were allowed to walk around. Like when I was growing up, when you left out during the day, you didn't have to be home until it was dark, or you called from somebody's house and I'm at Ella's house eating or something.
Yeah.
You didn't know where it was. We were 15 miles away. Sometimes I'd end up always, wherever we were older. So the thing is that more and more I've learned about deer and different things like that, because I hit deer. You know that I personally kill deer with cars. I don't care. I'll smash them up as long as the car is made of metal. So I came to a conclusion because I've seen pictures of the accident that something did come out of her. I think it was probably a buck or something. And between the stop sign and where she was, this is how I became real technical in life.
Right.
Between the stop sign and the marks on the road and this, and that, something ran her off the road. And a lot of people just tried to chalk it up to my mom just lost control of the car and went over there. But she went deep into the woods, and it wasn't like she clearly went past trees. Some of them trees should have stabbed her. She should not be here today from where she landed in those woods.
It's kind of like they didn't believe that she had it, or believe that the deer was there.
A lot of people thought I was reaching for a cigarette, trying to light it and fly up that mountain. That's what most people believe. Okay, I don't remember how many times I flipped, but the car was practically brand new. On one side, it looked wonderful. You looked on the left side, oh boy.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If people want to, I do a lot of things with mental health. This incident became so traumatic for her that for the rest of her life in her driving life, she went up the mountain a very few times, but she would go
to 501.
Go to 501. She would go 10, it was almost 30 minutes out the way.
Yeah.
To avoid that spot. And I never realized what it was. And I never realized that it was trauma that someone went through until I got older. And I didn't know that was a post-traumatic syndrome.
Yeah.
That you had then, because, and that's not harsh, I'm just saying in general, something happened out there. And only you'll ever know. Nobody will ever know the truth or if it's false. Whatever happened to you, it paralyzed you. You always want to run it down. She kept us safe.
Right.
But I always wondered.
Right, because there's a lot of things that people don't understand. Like you go through something and you might not think something of it today, but it's going to affect you and how you do things later on. So it is always beneficial to try to talk about it if you recognize it. And then, like I said, you might not even recognize that's the issue until years down the road.
Valen was upset because it was her first night to go to the Brownies, and I feel bad. I didn't know a lot of people, and plus I wanted no shape. I had glass all in my hair. I'll say for about a week or more. I didn't know it was so bad.
Big stress. I'll have to reach out to one of my aunts. They keep their archives to get it, because it was one thing there. Then outside of that, I'll remember Sega Saturn, Nintendo 64. Last system you bought me was $9,999. That was my Sega Dreamcast. And after Sega Dreamcast, that's when it came out on September 9th, 1999. You bought it for me. And one thing about my mom, she wasn't a slouch. She'd go in 3 or 4 games. A lot of kids was getting the controller and playing a demo, helping the aunt ball and stuff. I had the luxury of always, when the system came out, and then when the next one came out, PlayStation 2, we won't talk about that because we ain't behind the So after that point, after September 9th, 1999, I ended up buying the rest of my system. You bought me games.
Yeah.
Sometimes you ask for came from. He didn't tell me. We won't go into those details because we were bad kids when we were older. And as a teenager, I was a hell. And even to this day, I kind of stature where I just kind of mind my business and I don't deal with no nonsense. That's one thing I wanted to ask you. How come, no matter what I do, I'm a good comedian. I got jokes, but how come I've always been serious?
I don't have a plain idea or reason why you are so serious. You're just like your father. Your father, it would take a whole lot. I never seen him go off on anybody, but when he got to the point that he had enough, he would leave them standing.
I turn the cheek to a lot of stuff sometimes. I do. Just when certain things boil over, people that are closest to me, if someone does something to them, that's when I'm nasty. And it's not anybody that's outward that's not part of my collective. Who cares? I've always felt you walk away from somebody, it hurts worse than you listening to or entertaining what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
I will admit, you're very into a lot of things very professionally. And I've seen you get mad, I've seen you get angry, and it's not like you're not rude about it. You're very calm when you explain, say, hey, this is what you did, and we can fix it this way or we can fix it this way. And never once do you really raise your voice. So
he got his daddy's temperament.
Yeah, because I'm going to try to be complacent because I like a happy space. I don't like nothing difficult. Anything gets too hard or too, I got somebody for that. I got somebody can handle the difficult stuff. That's just how I.
Now, that's not saying you let people run you over.
Oh, no, no. So, last impression I want you to leave on the go out here and drink coffee. You don't make better coffee than me. I'll put that out there. My coffee's fire. You make it.
I don't know. You don't.
I don't do much with coffee. I'm an instant drinker myself.
Right. There's one thing I found out about you later on in life. I just found out not too long ago. You can make potato salad. Someone, Christy Carwell, let me know that you can make a pretty good potato salad. Really interested in that. But I remember this one story, and I got to tell this one. It's about the boiled chicken.
It was baked.
Baked chicken.
I mean, it was fried.
How do you fry the chicken?
Okay, the way I fried chicken, first you wash your meat, then you put the flour, salt, and pepper. You put the grease on the stove and let it get real hot. Well, for some reason, that particular incident, I'll call it, I had turned that chicken and turned it and stayed with it. I just knew it was done, but DRD will have them.
That chicken won't cook. It was cooked on the outside, but it won't cook the inside.
Don't judge me, people. I mean, I'm from the country, but you said you washed the chicken?
You know, run cold water
Right,
when you're trying to get the fat off of it.
okay, that's not the first time I've heard that, though. Is that why you wash it, just because it's easier to get the fat off of it?
Well, that's why I do it.
Okay. Because I seen the look on JR's face when she said that, too. So if y'all know why you wash your chicken, let me know, because maybe I'm doing it wrong.
No.
Like I said, you're not the only person that I've heard that from. And I'm just like, oh, well, maybe I can ask you, because maybe you know.
Well, I haven't cooked a home-cooked meal in so many years. I'm sure my daughter-in-law to be can burn if she has to.
And I'll say this, it's crazy. My grandmother was cooking. She was the queen of frying things. She was a queen of certain things. And then my dad's mom could cook. So I was surrounded by people that could cook. Only talent I got was to just make food hot. I have no other talents when it comes to making food. I can make anything that you want on the grill, or anything you want to be spicy. I got this trap heat. It comes off real cool at first, and as you eat 2 more bites, it burns you to hell.
Sometimes it's unbearable.
Sometimes unbearable. But that's the only cooking talent I got. And I make it look good. I eat it in all these different places and stuff, and you see the different things, and it looks like someone's. But I only really got 18 dishes I make. People only get to see 6 unless you pay for the other ones. In 4 installments of $19.95. But anyway, finishing up with everything. One thing I want to tell you, we don't get to tell people this, and you don't get to give people their flowers. I do a testimony on the show. I want to tell you thank you for bringing me into the world. You had a choice. You could have aborted if you wanted to. You decided not to. When I was young, I was very impressionable, so I took a lot from you. You'll never know it because I will never tell you that. But a lot of my mannerisms and certain ways I act with people, when I act funny towards people, everyone calls that to you. They say that when I'm acting funny or if I'm not trying to be involved in something or dealing with people like that. Because I do not live a life of drama. I'm pretty much right. I pretty much keep a tight knit on my life and I control a lot. And that's something that I got to work on because I don't have to let it. We try to pull everything so fast so everybody's happy, but happy under my context. So I want to tell you thank you for that. Next thing, raising a young man, you did it. You had help with other people that came around. Ruby, Mom, Gaitha. Everybody had a hand in bringing me up. So I had probably one of the greatest lives I had for a child and all. I did not have a want. I did not have a need. When I got older, you instilled in me that I got to work for what I want. And you did, because certain things, if I needed them, I had to go out here and get them. I had to, and if you don't know me, then that laugh is a different laugh. And then the other thing you always told me growing up that I was a cog man. You told me I was a cog man. You said I could sell water to a well, save in the desert to camels and sure. And I took that and I ran with it. I learned how to get the gift of gab and to alienate, personate, all these other things that you got to do to achieve a certain level of success with people in the first 2 minutes. So I want to tell you that you gave me my intimacy, how I can pull people in or I can throw people away.
So I'm sure most of you will notice that, like what he said there. He has the gift of gab. So if you ever are trying to speak, you'll notice that he talks a lot more than everybody else that he speaks with. And sometimes you want to interject there. And a lot of times you just got to be rude and be like, listen, this is what I need to say real fast.
Yeah.
He does like to talk. And I'm glad that you have this avenue to do it.
So in closing, Mom, I want to tell you thank you for my life. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Now, for my audience, this is where you have to get back to them. Okay? You got to get back to the audience. Tell the audience how they should live a life to get into their 60s. How many life do you got to live to get to your 60s?
Well, first of all, you've got to stop smoking. You've got to eat the right things. You can't eat a lot of grease, salads, and things like that. Personally, I know this for sure because I've already had 2 strokes, and I believe if I have another one, it'll take me out.
Okay. That's deep. Stacy, to finish this off, thank you for coming on and doing your co-hosting duties with me. Leave the audience with something that you learned today about me you didn't know earlier.
I think y'all know what I learned.
Yeah, if y'all talking about my shitty video.
Well, because I just feel so bad for your mama because, sorry y'all, but if you smell as bad as you do now then, and you had to ride home in the vehicle, I probably would have suffocated.
I mean, everybody shit stinks. What are you saying?
No, but you got that special stink that lingers for hours.
I will not fart. I learned that's my mutant ability. I was an X-Men. I got the power of fart. I can fart in one place. I can tell it when to attack you.
Because, you do tell me stories. We talk quite a bit. Why I interjected, but that story you told about your dad. So, because we just talked about it a couple days ago, I think.
All right, everybody, here it goes. www.wvuncomplex.com. That's where you can meet, greet us. You can send us an email, join the mailing list, become part of the Legion. If you want to support the show, there's all kinds of avenues you can do. Favorite one of most people is to go over to Apple Podcasts, get that paid subscription. Get that paid subscription, you're getting exclusive episodes no one else is getting. Follow us on TikTok. That's the behind the scenes stuff.
Yes, please. If we get to 1,000 followers on TikTok, then they can go live and you can see what he's really like.
Yes. Once again, I want to thank you, my mom, Rosalind Sparrow Cruz Higgins III. I just switched all our last names up. Great inspiration. And outside of that, audience, remember, this show comes out every Thursday. We do have extra shows on Saturday, and we'll leave it at that.